It's the morning of day 5. Last evening, I only glassed up a few does and a spike. This morning I got a forky, a few does and a spike, 5 does, and then I found the one buck that was with that big 4x4. He's also 4x4. He's just went and did some timber there, little isolated pocket of timber. He just went in. Haven't seen a bigger buck that was with him yet, but we're gonna stick around and find out. And if this buck beds and I can't find the other buck, I'm gonna go after him. He's also a good buck. When they were with each other, they looked like they were about the same age. The other one was just taller. This buck's not bad. Can't see him right now, but we'll see if we lay eyes on him again. I can't tell if it's the bigger buck or the smaller buck, but either way, it's a nice buck that I'd like to go after. Could be a completely different one, I don't know. It's been about 45 minutes since I last saw him. To my knowledge, he hasn't come out of that pocket of trees, but he definitely could have. I'm not 100% that he's been well over an hour since I last saw him go into that same spot. I haven't seen him come out. And so looking at it, I won't be able to, if I do this, I need the wind to pick up, and it's starting to pick up now because it's rock. And my shot would be about 140 yards, just measuring it from my phone. It just being here, I've heard deer walking on the other hill from 300 yards away. Deer can hear a lot further than me. So if this wind really picks up, I could justify putting myself in position. But until then, we're sitting ducks. So this wind is kicking up a little bit. It's really tempting. I mean, I've been watching it for an hour, 15 minutes. I have not seen anything come out of it. There's the wind. That's what we want. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it because I'm thinking, like, what if I can't find him tomorrow? What if he beds in a worse spot tomorrow, you know? It's not a bad spot for a gun hunter to have a mule deer bedded. Terrible for a bow. I would even hunt deer with a bow. I've tried it. Hunting this rocky, steep stuff, very, very hard, especially with a recurve. Buck is bedded here, allegedly, below this little cliff. There is a doe in here that I watched go into there. Can't go. If I got to here, I'd have no shot. There's too much timber. There's little trees in the way, but this rock up here, that white rock face, if I can get on that, it's a 140 yard shot to him. So I'm gonna walk up here, get on that ridge, get at his elevation and side hill it. The wind's going up the valley, so it should be alright. Yeah, I can always turn around if I'm not feeling it. If the wind switches or dies, I can always stop before I get too close. But I'm gonna start moving. We got 7 hours till dark, so I can make this stalk really long. I mean, it's quite the elevation gain, but I can do it pretty quick. I don't have much weight on me, just a gun in my pack. Leave a lot of stuff here. And we'll see what happens. Need some water in me. We're gonna get moving. Alright, I made it up to the first rock. I just got a side hill from here. Just climbed up this. I was glassing over in that shade. Now I'm over here. Just got a straight side hill now. And I'm on this other ridge. I'm within 250 yards of him. Can't see him. Just trying to figure out what group of trees he's in, because it's all different from this angle. I've been looking at it this way, I'm looking at it this way now. Just trying to figure out where he's at. But the rock I wanted to get to, I can see right over here. That'd put me at 130, but if I can see him from here, I can judge if I want to get closer or wait him out. 250 I feel really good at, so my bullet only drops 2 inches that far, so just gonna see what I can see here, try to lay eyes on him in his bed. Well, I got where I wanted to be. Should be within 150 yards of this buck, but I can't see down there. There's a little roll in the hill. I think he's just on the other side of it, possibly. So I don't know. We got like 6 hours, 5 hours till dark. We'll see what we want to do here. I don't know how I feel about this. Might have to back off. I don't want to back off, and I don't want to stay here either. Try to locate him in the morning, hopefully bed somewhere else. But I can't do anything here. They haven't been moving in the evening, the bucks. The bucks have not been moving in the evening. The chance of him coming out of his bed and moving to where I could see him is pretty minuscule, I think, because I can barely see any terrain over here. So I'm gonna chug some water, take the long way back. It's quite the hike. It was clear down there. Way down there. So, thought I could have more openings over here, but you can never guess what the trees are like, how thick the vegetation is. Alright, I have a hard time giving up. Looking at my picture of the landscape from where I was glassing, where I circled, that buck should just be right in that next little dip. If you can hear this wind, that's really good, and it's going up. I think if I get over here and get on top of this big rock face, not on top of it, but on the uphill side, there's a way I can peek through in between them and maybe get a shot down in there. That would be a lot better. And this terrain looks really sturdy until I get over there. Because if I kick a rock loose, that's not good, but it looks pretty sturdy. We'll have a look. We'll see what happens. Straight above the buck now. The wind's been good. I felt comfortable sneaking over here. Peeked out over the edge, and he just has too much tree cover wherever he's bedded. I cannot see him. So we're gonna wait. I think it's like 4 hours till dark. We're just gonna wait. I got a good vantage point up here. If he goes to either side, I should get a shot. Hopefully he doesn't go down. And then hopefully he stands up, and hopefully he's still here. That's another thing. We got him. He might have a few less points. He's still rolling. Holy smokes. I can't believe that happened. This is the most coolest spot I could probably ever get a deer in my life. I'm on a freaking cliff. I'm hanging off of this cliff. Sorry, Mom, Dad. I'm safe. I know. I'm alright. I watched this buck this morning bed down, and he laid in here, and I've been hanging off the right side of this big rock and looking down it. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I'm like, man, I could, if I just take a step up, I can see a little better to the left. I take a step up, I get my bag all situated, all good. I look over, he's 40 yards. That was a 40-yard shot. 40 yards. We got him. I don't know what day it is. He's a good 4x4. And man, I'm on the edge of the world right now. I have my hat angled, keeping the sun out of my face, but I am literally on the edge of the world. This will never do it justice how high up I am. And I just shot a buck at 40 yards off a cliff. This is awesome. I can't believe it. I can't believe a good 4x4 in the most scenic place I could ever do it. I wish I could show you. He was sitting there feeding. I had time to get my phone up and get it on video and everything. I couldn't get it sideways, but I got it vertical. And he took a tumble. I'm gonna have to look for some antlers, I'm sure. Man, I've been hanging out up here all day. That was one heck of a stalk. I stalked him a whole way. Stalked him a whole way across this whole freaking face of this mountain, and wasn't sure if I could see him where I originally wanted to be. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna climb up on these rocks and see if I can see him. And I don't know how that buck got there. I don't know how he got there. I've been here the whole time. But let's climb down off this sucker and go get him. See, this is where I'm at. I just had to walk across this flat ground, and then there is a cliff right here. That buck was right there, 40 yards. And he tumbled all the way down there, but at least he's closer to the truck. Standing where the buck was, standing when I shot, and I was up on this cliff right here. Right about where my finger is where I was. And this is what they're living in, man. It's pretty crazy. I mean, on this whole stalk, there's just deer scat, deer tracks, deer beds the whole way. These deer are up in here, man. And I got a good blood trail to follow down through there, it looks like. I'm gonna look for antlers in case he broke them off. Well, I was right. He broke his whole fork off his left side. Now I gotta look for it. He's laying down here about 40 yards. But he broke his whole fork off. Time to shed hunt. I'm following his blood trail. What the heck? Snapped his whole thing off. Alright, I'm gonna keep my eye out here. Right here he lays. I have not found his points yet, but I'll make sure to find them. I don't know how I can miss him. Beautiful buck. Beautiful buck. In a rough spot. Man, he broke everything off. He broke everything off. There's a lot of points around here. He broke a back fork and 2 forks off. Man, I'll have to do some looking now. Well, here he is, all grouse. What was that? That was an eagle. Whizzing by. Here he is, all banged and bruised. And that's kind of the moral of the story of this hunt, man. Where he was originally laying, I couldn't work on him there as far as quarter him up and everything. I gave him one little pull, and I kid you not, he went 1,000 feet, easy 1,000 feet down this mountain. There was no break. And I feel really bad about that, but there's nothing I could do. Good friend of mine, Brian Sugar, he taught me how to cut meat, quarter deer, and make it into steaks and burger whatnot, and skin deer, really. One thing he taught me is, if meat's falling, don't grab it. And that's a form in when we're processing deer, because you're holding a knife. Your instinct, if meat's falling to the ground, you want to grab it, and you might jab yourself with a knife. It's better just let it go. So that's what I did. I didn't try catching him. I feel bad he took a tumble like that, but yeah, he's all banged and bruised. I did find 2 of his points. He's missing 1, 2, 3. I don't even know what they go to. There's that. There's 1 piece of the fork. Where's the other? It's chapstick. Here. That's not even a whole point. That probably goes over here. I don't know. Yeah, that goes right there. So you could put the pieces together on them. I'm not hunting antlers. When I came to this hunt, I always like to have a goal, and hunting big bucks really just keeps me going. Not this is a small buck by any means. This is a beautiful deer. He's not my smallest, I don't think. Just couldn't pass it up. You know, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be healthy and to do this, and to have the time to do it. And it's really special for me to do this once again. This is the 4th year I've done it, and this is no joke. As much as you see on film is nothing what I'm going through to hunt these deer. I try to take you along on that stalk a little bit, but it does no justice. This mountain straight up, it's all rock, all loose rock. And that's where these things live, and I have so much respect for these things. It's unmatched. These things are the real deal. This is literally the poor man's sheep hunt. Why would I don't have to pay thousands and thousands for a sheep when I can just do this. I'm in the same places. But I'm very thankful for this buck, man. Beautiful deer, and literally the craziest spot I've ever got to hunt. Last year was pretty incredible as well. It's all been incredible anywhere I've got to hunt these things, but this year getting to shoot one off a cliff like that, I mean, that's just something you dream of since you're a little kid. Like, I don't know why, I've always dreamed of just shooting one off a cliff for some reason. And I almost got to do it a few years ago when I was archery hunting them. I was in my socks on this cliff, and this buck was bedded below the cliff, and I was right on top of him. I couldn't get a shot because there was a branch in the way, or bush. And I kicked a pebble down the hill, and another buck skipped out, and then he skipped out. They were about 25, 30 alert, so I didn't shoot at them. But that was the only other time I got to do it. But yeah, this buck, moral of this story for me is banged and bruised and broken. I'm personally, my body's not broken or banged or bruised. Whoa, here we go, might be soon. The only thing happened to me this trip was a little cut on my wrist when I was getting water one day. A lot of things broke on this trip. A screw came out of my gun. If you notice, there was green electrical tape and black electrical tape around it to keep the gun in the stock, basically. So that was broken. My camera broke. I'm filming on my phone, so I apologize for the not best quality. But what else broke? I don't know. It's still early. We got a long way down here. I'm gonna have to somehow tie this thing up because I don't want them to spill while I'm working on them. But beautiful deer. Beautiful deer. I don't know. I do think he was with that big buck I came in here after. That tall 4x4. He could have been the buck with him. I'm not positive. But this is a great deer. Great deer. Very thankful for him. Mature buck, smart buck. I'll give him that. This morning, when the sun was coming up, it works down the ridge, if that makes sense. So the sunlight, as the sun's going up, the sunlight's coming down the ridge. He was working his way up the ridge when I saw him, up the hillside. And as soon as that sun started creeping down on him, he turned around and headed back down the hill. And he just wanted to be in the trees. He didn't want to be in the sunlight or in the opening. He's smart. This is a smart deer, for sure. I don't know how I got, that was probably 40, 50 yards. I don't know how I got that close to him, but very thankful for the wind today. That would have never happened if we didn't have the wind. That was perfect. But I got a lot of work here. It's getting dark now. It's a good, I got him at a good time. It's not dark. I can start working on them, and it's starting to cool down. I mean, it was 75, 80 degrees today. It was brutal. I didn't want to get one midday. Good thing I didn't get him midday, and I got him now. So it just all worked out perfect. This isn't going to be too bad of a pack out other than this just steep hillside, but we'll get her done. Get you patched up, buddy. Thank you. First pack down, back at the truck. Tired, that was heavy. Half the buck. Go back in the morning, get camp and the other pack. But time for a siesta. Good morning. Slept in the truck last night. I'm too tall for that. Sleeping in the back seat. The bed's just loaded with stuff. I couldn't sleep in the bed. It got cold. Still cold out. I think it's like 35 degrees. But first light. Going in for the second pack. My tent, my spotting scope, my sleeping bag. Beautiful morning. Made it up to the crib. Tearing her down. Super quiet out. But I woke up this morning, I was kind of bummed because I realized I forgot my toothbrush up here. And if you know me, I love waking up and brushing my teeth, starting the morning fresh. But we got it right here. Oh yeah, ready to go. Alright, here's the final pack. Let's see if everything wants to stay. Those probably won't redo that, but half a buck, sleeping pad, jet boil, scope, tripod, sleeping bag, water, filter, stuff, and my tent. It's gonna be a heavy one. Okay, let's see how she fits. It's probably 60, 70. We got it. That ain't bad. These mountains were good to me. Very thankful. I can see the rock I shot him off up there. Pretty neat. Oh, I got better tie my shoe a little tighter before I run off. It's nice to have tight boots and trim toenails. That's something I do before I hike in every time. Is trim my toenails. When your toes are just jamming into the front of your boot, that is very uncomfortable. It's like tying your shoes with a 6th grader on your back. A big 6th grader. Alright, we're ready to rock. Finishing up the final pack here and just thinking about it. I feel really bad about how he took a tumble like that, and you know, maybe I could have let him walk a little, shot him somewhere different, but that was never on my mind. I never thought that he would fall like that. I feel really bad about it, but I didn't want to see him go. I didn't want to see him do that, and I do feel bad that he broke his antlers up. You know, that's his thing. He grew them, he earned them. But I do want to find a taxidermist when I get home to fix that up, just for the justice of the deer. Because he shouldn't have felt like that. I do feel bad, but something I like to think about is maybe there was someone up above that just wanted to give me a little nudge on the pack out. A little head start. You know, that's what I like to think. But we're just chugging along. This pack's not super heavy. Last night's was way heavier. The first mule deer I ever got, I did in one trip, a whole deer, not deboned, and that was brutal. My knees were sore for a week. It's hard to walk. It's probably a 120-pound pack. I mean, these deer are like 300 pounds, easy. There's a lot of fat on them. And man, do they taste good. Holy smokes, do they taste good. If you've met someone that says mule deer doesn't taste good, well, whoever shot it is hunting them too low, and they're in the sage, I bet. But all these bucks I've taken out of the high country are so good. I'd put them over elk. They're so tender. There's so much fat on them too. I mean, they are lazy critters. They just sit there. They might move 50 to 100 yards a day, some of these bucks, with this heat and the pre-rut. And it's a lot of good meat to go home for my family, friends. I know my buddies at camp are gonna be really excited about more mule deer burgers that I make for them. That's their favorite. But I'm just gonna chug along, get this pack out, and I'm gonna go hunt down a burrito. I want a burrito, I want a chocolate milk, and I do want to do a little fishing. The weather's nice. I want to do some fishing. But this meat's priority. We'll get it on ice and get it all fixed up, and then do all those things. I appreciate you guys watching this video. I'm sorry it was all filmed on an iPhone. I gotta get a new camera very soon, because as soon as I get home, it's archery. Be hunting whitetails with a bow. That's my favorite thing in the world. This stuff's cool. I love it to death, but I can't do this forever, so that's why I'm doing it now. You never know when your last hike in the mountains will be, but hunting whitetails, anyone could do that. So that's why I take a little hiatus from the whitetails to do this while I'm still young. But appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Means the world to me. Coming up on 14 years of this. 14 years of making videos. Pretty crazy. Didn't have this mustache back in the day. We'll catch you on the next one. That's going to be some Pennsylvania archery hunting.